It is the end of the year. We don't have any more UFC fights until January 11th, 2025. So, of course, it's the first time ever double move MMA awards. We're still working on the title. But we're going to go through the male fighter of the year, woman fighter of the year, most improved fighter, fight of the year, knockout of the year, submission of the year, most memorable moments, and best non-champion fighter. Of course, you scroll through in the YouTube video who you want to see. I doubt anybody wants to watch the full thing, but if you do, I appreciate it. Before we get into it, be sure to like, comment if you agreed with my list, disagreed, if I'm an idiot. Represent Kill Crew, still waiting for my sponsorship, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We got like 862 subscribers. Nothing crazy. Ain't trying to brag. I've been working on this for like 2.5 years, and I'm still so far away. But please subscribe. Now let's get into it. For male fighter of the year, the award is going to Alex Pereira. Now, this isn't much shock. Obviously, if you looked at the thumbnail, you thought Alex Pereira was going to win, or he was going to win, right? It's Alex Pereira. He is the male fighter of the year, and it's because of a couple of things. One, he saved the UFC twice, UFC 300 and 303. Second reason, every time he fought injured, right? Maybe Ilia Topuria was injured when he fought Volk or Max Holloway, but he didn't say anything to anybody, so we didn't know, right? But a third reason Alex Pereira is the male fighter of the year is because he gave everybody an entertaining fight every time he fought, and he came up short notice every time he fought, and there was not one person that thought, oh, Alex Pereira's fighting, great, this is going to be a perfect UFC card. No, everybody was like, holy shit, Alex Pereira's fighting Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka again, or, Khalil Roundtree. And I'm so tired of everybody saying, like, oh, well, Ilia Topuria fought better people. Like, yes, that is true. He fought the number 1 and number 2 GOATs of the featherweight division, but that's just, like, how the time played out. Like, it's not like Alex Pereira could fight John Jones, the greatest light heavyweight of all time, or DC, right? DC's gone. John Jones is in the heavyweight. So he didn't get that opportunity, right? However, Alex Pereira still fought, at that time, the best he could. And I don't want to hear no slander against Alex Pereira. Magomed Ankalaev is running from Alex Pereira. I don't care what anybody says. He only wants to fight in Abu Dhabi. He's just running. Everything is an excuse with Magomed Ankalaev. And that is why Alex Pereira is the male fighter of the year. He's fighting the best that he can at the moment. He fought Jamal Hill. And for everybody that thought or that says, oh, well, Alex Pereira, like, he had easier fights than Ilia, that is true. Right, that is true. But, however, we all doubted Alex Pereira at some point when he was going to fight whoever it was, right? When Jamal Hill fought Alex Pereira, there were people saying, well, Jamal Hill's got pretty good boxing. He's got knockout power. He could surprise Alex Pereira. Then when Yuri fought Alex, people were saying, well, before Yuri got knocked out and it was a weird stoppage the first fight, he was winning the fight. He won the first round, and then he knocked out Yuri Prochazka the second time. And then even against Khalil Roundtree, people were like, well, even though Khalil Roundtree's ranked 7th, he still has a pretty good chance against Alex Pereira. He's got good Muay Thai. Like, he could beat Alex Pereira. So even though he did win and he demolished every single one of them, there was still doubt. And the fact that he beat everybody with that doubt in short notice, in a short period, defended his belt 3 times, 2 of the biggest cards of the year, 300 and 303, and he gave everybody what they wanted. That's why he's male fighter of the year. That is why he beat Ilia Topuria. Nothing against Ilia Topuria, great fighter. If Alex Pereira would have never fought Khalil Roundtree, it would have gone to Ilia Topuria. But because he fought a third time, finished Khalil Roundtree in a crazy fashion, 4th round, throwing the jabs, comes in, bop, bop, bop. That's why he won. Now, female fighter of the year. Pretty quick and simple, Kayla Harrison. The reason why Kayla Harrison won Woman Fighter of the Year is because of 2 things. One, she was the only woman fighter in 2024, I would say, that anybody really gave a fuck about. Like, no one was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see Alexa Grasso. Like, yeah, she had her thing and Valentina beat her, but like, nobody really cared about any woman fighter except for Kayla Harrison. And she won 2 fights in 2024 and has earned herself a title shot next in the bantamweight division, right? She beat Holly Holm by submission at UFC 300, and Caitlin Vieira by decision. A good win. She used her takedowns and win. And she was the best woman fighter that showcased her being the next right? Like, she's fighting for the belt next. And that's why she was male fighter, or the woman fighter of the year. Keep on saying male fighter of the year. With how Kayla looks, she could be a male. But woman fighter of the year, Kayla Harrison. She did a great job. She won it, right? Woman fighter of the year, congrats. You get a fucking thumbs up. Now, most improved fighter of the year. The most improved fighter of 2024. It was hard. It was either going to be Dan Hooker or this guy. And this guy, I didn't really think about him until a couple of days ago when I was like, man, he really did turn things around. Although he didn't like improved his game-wise, but he really toned down, like fighting early in the first round and really making sure that he's like staying on you and sticking to his game. Most improved fighter is Peter Yan. Peter Yan went from losing to Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, and Merab Dvalishvili to in 2024 beating Song Yadong and Davison Figueiredo, and that is why he is the most improved fighter of the year. It was hard because I wanted Dan Hooker. I'm a big Dan Hooker fan. But Dan Hooker, he beat Mateus Gamrot. It was a split decision win. It was kind of controversial. And that was like the big thing for me about this category, most improved fighter. Who has shown leaps and bounds the difference in who they were a year ago to now? Dan Hooker has, right? Dan Hooker hit that slump when he lost to Arnold Allen and he was coming back. He hit that slump. But I think a bigger slump was Peter Yan. Peter Yan losing 3 straight times after being the champion, losing to Aljamain, Sean O'Malley, Merab, and these split decision losses. Like, it wasn't working for him. And we all thought this is the end for Peter Yan. But he comes back in 2024, beats Song Yadong, beats Davison Figueiredo, improved. Okay, one more win, and he's next for the bantamweight belt, and he's that guy. He's that champion again. And he won most improved fighter, and I think that's accurate. He is the most improved fighter of 2024. Now, fight of the year. This is obvious. Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. 5 rounds of war. Everybody thought Justin Gaethje was going to win. Max Holloway goes in there, surprises everybody. There was a spinning back kick to the face of Justin in the first round, and that's where it all started. And the entire fight, Justin is just trying to get something going, while Max is just brat, 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 slip, 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 brat. He's just fucking Justin Gaethje up. Comes out, 5th round, points to the ground. You fucking pussy. He didn't really say that, but he's pointing to the ground. Justin, let's fight, let's throw down. Knocks him out with 1 second left. Fight of the year. UFC 300, Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway had everything to lose and nothing to gain from this fight, and then he turned it around. He said, oh, really? I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that's what happened. Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje. 1 second left. That is fight of the year. It was between Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier, but I was like, you know what? Max Holloway, Justin was a little bit more entertaining. More people were like more thrilled about that fight and like how action-packed and how crazy it was than Islam and Dustin, because in the first couple rounds, Islam was, ragdolling Dustin, and then it wasn't until the 3rd, 4th, 5th round for Dustin where people were like, oh, he's got a chance, and then he gets submitted in the 5th round. But fight of the year, Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. Knockout of the year. This is going to surprise some people. Knockout of the year is not Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje. No. Knockout of the year is Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway in the 3rd round, because nobody thought he was going to do it that quick and in that style where you're going to flatline Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria flatlined Max Holloway in the 3rd round. Not like some like TKO, he's just like on top of him. No, comes up, left hook, right hand, left hook, and just starts mauling him. He gets knocked out. Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway. A bigger stake was involved in Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway, in my opinion, was more of a insane knockout than Max versus Justin. Don't get me wrong, Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje was also insane. But like when Max Holloway was pointing down to Justin Gaethje, you're like, oh, someone's going to get fucking knocked out. But Ilia Topuria just marching down Max Holloway, beating him up. No one thought, oh, this is where Ilya's going to knock out Max, There was a couple times where Ilia hit Max, and you're like, oh, shit, that was hard. But you didn't think, oh, he's going to knock him out right here. That is why that is knockout of the year. Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway. Submission of the year. There's only one fighter who won submission of the year. This is obvious. Khamzat Chimaev over Robert Whittaker. He won. Khamzat Chimaev won submission of the year. No one thought, after his fight with Kamaru Usman and having these close fights against like Gilbert Burns and stuff like that, no one thought Khamzat Chimaev was going to do what he did to Kamaru Usman, to Robert Whittaker, pretty much, right? No one thought he was going to do these things. Khamzat Chimaev came out, submitted Robert Whittaker in the first round, broke his bottom teeth, his jaw, and it was the craziest thing ever. The fact that Khamzat Chimaev did this to a former middleweight champion, and no one thought this was going to happen, is why this is submission of the year. Not only did Khamzat Chimaev do this to someone who has grappling, good jiu-jitsu, but he did this to a middleweight former champion, a weight class that Khamzat Chimaev is not used to. Let's be honest. Khamzat Chimaev is not used to fighting real middleweights, right? Robert Whittaker was the first real middleweight that he fought, and he submitted him in the first round. In the first round, submission. Khamzat Chimaev won submission of the year, without a doubt the craziest submission, I think, in the entirety of 2024. Khamzat Chimaev over Robert Whittaker. Islam submitting Dustin Poirier is not a surprise. Khamzat submitting Robert Whittaker in the first round was a surprise. That is submission of the year. Most memorable moment, this is obvious, Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje, UFC 300. The fact that Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan was the co-main event, and then you had Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill in the main event, and Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje capped the entire card, is the reason why it's the most memorable moment. The fact that Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje, and for the next two fights, even though they were great fights, Yan Xiaonan and Zhang Weili and Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira, people were still talking about Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. That is why it is the most memorable moment of 2024. And finally, last but certainly not least, the last category. We're going through this quick. The best non-champion fighter of the year. This is a fighter that fought 4 times in 2024 and has proven each fight that he is legit. He is ready to be a top 5 fighter. He's ready to be a champion in the welterweight division, and that is Carlos Pratas. I think that's how you say his last name. He is legit. Fought 4 times in 2024, and his last 4 fights, he finished every single opponent within 2 rounds. Beat Neil Magny, beat The Leech, beat Charles Ratchet, beat Trevor Giles, beat legitimate welterweight fighters, beat contenders, and it's just proven that he's that next guy. And he has just done everything. The Fighting Nerds is a great team. He's rising up, and he's just proven that, like, dude, he is legitimate. Like, he's not a champion, he's not a top 5 guy, but he's making his way up the rankings, and he is literally the next guy to be fighting top 5 soon, hopefully. Carlos Pratas doing super good. I'd like to see him fight someone like a Wonder Boy or even like Sean Brady next. That would be very interesting. Tall, lanky striker fighting from the Fighting Nerds. Great team. Carlos Pratas, best non-champion fighter of the year. That is my MMA awards show. I try to do this as quickly as possible because I know nobody wants to hear me rant for 40 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you understand everything I said. If not, turn the subtitles on. While you're turning the subtitles on, be sure to press like, comment what you thought about my awards, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Now, see you in the next video.